My name's Dan McLaughlin, and I'm trying to become a professional golfer. I started golfing when I was 30 years old, and I decided to quit my job and dedicate my life to attempting to become a professional golfer by practicing for 10,000 hours to see how far you can go. The reason I wanted to do this was more to prove that anything in life is possible. In the jobs and the people I've known in the past, everybody's had an excuse for something. Everybody's wanted to be a designer, but they said, oh, I can't draw, or wanted to go into finance and say, oh, I'm just bad at math. And everybody has always had something that they said that they're bad at and something that they said that they're good at. But my whole theory is that you're only bad at things that you don't try. What I wanted to do is basically take something I had absolutely no experience in and see how far you can go. And not see how far you can go as a 5 to 20-year-old, but as an adult to see if you can really succeed in a brand new field. My first memory of golf was when I was about 5 years old. There was a man who lived in the neighborhood. He was a really nice guy, and we had this lake, and he would always have all the little kids hit golf balls into the lake, and he actually gave me a left-handed, like 2-foot-long driver, and he told my brother and my parents that he thought I was a natural at golf and that he wanted to kind of teach me golf. But then, literally a week later, he had a heart attack and died in his sleep at like 45. So I never, got those lessons or never, pursued it as a 5-year-old. I loved the club, but I didn't have any golf balls. But that's definitely my first golfing memory, and probably the only one from 5 to about my early 20s. Every time I visited my brother in Omaha, Nebraska, we would play golf. So as far as my golf experience goes, I think I played maybe 4 or 5 rounds of par 3 9-hole golf in Omaha, Nebraska. And one condensed summer school class in college. I took golf, but I never went. So I think I never, because you didn't have to go in the days you actually practiced golf. You only had to be there for the test. So I read a book on the theories of golf and got an A in the class, but I never actually played. A little far again, but at least I'm not in the sand. I literally did not know if I would play golf left or right-handed when I first started. Like my first lesson with my coach, when I found my coach for the plan, we actually just putted both left and right-handed to see where I should go with this. So I mean, I knew who some of the people were, like Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, and some of the bigger golfers in the world. Jack Nicklaus or Nicholson, I don't know which is which. The way I saw it is, I wanted to do something that was documentable. You could tell that story by becoming a plumber or architect or doctor, but there's a few reasons that I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something that you could statistically show your growth in. With golf, you can go outside, you can post up your stats, people can follow along and see how your improvement goes. And I wanted to do something that I had no experience in. I'd never done it in athletic pursuits, so I figured athletics would be a good avenue. With golf, there's not really an age limit, so to speak. So, I could start at 30 and still by 40, you could be a professional and you could actually have a career as a professional. Whereas tennis, I mean, Roger Federer at 29 is seen as like, past his prime. I was not anything close to an athlete 2 years ago or had any desire or could ever imagine myself being a golfer. Like, far from it. And in high school, I never got along with people who are golfers. I never had golfer friends. So yeah, it was much more of an academic idea than a passion. Every day I realize more and more how much I love golf. more than anything I've ever done, golf is constantly teaching me about life. Golf is an art too, so I feel like it's half athletic and half pursuit of like artistic perfection. I don't love everything about golf and the idea and some of the connotations and kind of like how it can be seen as you know, like a rich man's sport or an exclusive country club type sport. I mean, there's a lot of those type of aspects that I don't really appreciate, but as far as being, you know, one person on a course and the simplicity of you have these clubs and you're trying to get this small ball 500 yards into a small hole, and the only thing in between you and that hole is you, really. I mean, there's no other issues or complications, and I mean, it's just a simple, beautiful pursuit. Like any golfer is gonna be able to pick up on their swing. Like just overhearing the critique of all the old men watching golf, they're all talking, oh, look at that, Tiger's got his swing back. You know, I don't know what happened last year, but he's back in it now. How people react is generally positive. I've never had anybody say that it's a bad idea. And what it usually does whenever I tell somebody what I'm doing, I mean, it inevitably starts a conversation about who they really want to be and what they really want to do. So most people are like, wow, that's really cool and ambitious, and you're an idiot, you know, for like trying to do some kind of pursuit like this. But what I've always wanted to do is pottery, or I want to be a cook, or I want to do this, and that's what's really striking about it is not so much how people react to what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do, but how it brings out kind of hidden dreams in everybody. So it's mid-January, and what we're doing now is the progression of the Damn Planets Come. We're playing golf, but how we play is from 50 yards. So Christopher Smith, my golf coach, and I talked a lot with different performance experts, and especially performance experts in the field of golf, when we were coming up with the best way to tackle learning golf. And a lot of this was his idea. Actually, probably most of it was his idea of how to go about learning. But basically what he decided and what we decided to go with was we would start from the hole and then slowly move out as you kind of mastered a certain distance. So when we first started, like, I think that literally the first month I only putted from 1 and then 3 feet, and just kind of learn that little teeny stroke. And then as I got proficient in putting from 3 feet, we moved to 5 feet, and then we moved to 10 feet, and then we moved to 15-foot lags, and then we started putting 20-foot lags. And I remember it was, you know, first 3 months were only within 20 feet of the hole. Currently, I still, you know, it's been 9+ months. I have a pitching wedge, a sand wedge, and a putter, and my game of golf is from 50 yards. So I'll go out and play a course, but I don't hit a driver. I walk up and drop a ball from 50 yards. So here we are, the first hole. This is we're about 100 yards out now. So I'm just gonna kind of toss the ball up. And there is my tee shot. It's kind of silly, but I'm kind of not allowed to hit the ball far. So, and there's nothing more frustrating than like hitting little teeny slow shots over and over poorly. So sometimes, I mean, you know, I'll just get one of the balls I have and just hit it as hard as I can just to see it. And you always hit it into the ground. It never goes far. But, you know, just to like kind of take out a little bit of frustration. I kind of have a tendency or a feeling that I'll be the kind of person that throws their entire bag of clubs in the lake. But at this point now, you know, just like taking a full swing at a ball can help get any frustrations away. Nike has provided all of the gear so far. So golf clubs, golf clothes, and all that, which really helps because golf clubs are pretty expensive. But yeah, there's no like financial backers yet. So far, I have 1,101 hours as of January 25th, 2011. So 11.01%. You know, when I was 21, I just flew to Fiji and then Australia and Southeast Asia and kind of lived a year just wherever I could sleep that night. And I think there was a need for me to kind of see the world, because you know, growing up in a suburb community, you're kind of limited. In Cambodia, they have these Rambo firing ranges where you can basically shoot anything for a certain amount of money. So, and it's really close to the airport. So basically you can go and, I can't remember how much it was, it might be 50 US dollars, but you can rent an RPG, so a rocket propelled grenade launcher, and you can shoot it. And if you turned around, you basically could hit the airport. So they had guards with guns telling you that if you turned around, they would shoot you before you could shoot a plane. And then, you know, for an extra amount of money, you could aim it at an old tank or pretty much whatever you wanted to. I was kind of just searching for something. I didn't know what for, but I was always searching for something, so I was always up for an adventure and up for just doing anything that took me away from who I was. So, you know, I love going to bars, I love drinking, I love going to, you know, traveling and just like hitting the road and sleeping in random people's couches. And I've always seen or thought that I had a general, like a great enough ability to do something, you know, not special, but just like do something bigger than what I've done in my first 30 years. And so I always had these ideas, kind of grandiose ideas of you know, being an alpine mountain climber or doing something big, but I just kind of never did it because I just always let things fall to the side. And I'll just tell myself, well, I know I could do that, but you know, I just don't have time because I gotta go to work and I gotta pay my mortgage and all that. I don't want to be like, you know, 20 years from now and just regretting never having actually done anything and always having written that first chapter in the book and then, you know, put it aside. So I gave myself a really tough shot, and now I have another really tough shot to recover. This project is the typical David and Goliath or underdog story. I think that there's a real connection between what I'm trying to do and the average person out there. It's just like this random next door neighbor guy who's decided to dedicate himself and kind of just do it, or actually, you know, go out and follow his dreams. If I fail, that's great, you know, that's fine. It's not really a failure, it's just kind of showing me what my limitations are. And if I do succeed, then that's fine too. I actually feel like this is my destiny. You know, I feel like I was put on this planet to get really good at this sport. And I can't really describe why. I mean, it's kind of silly, but you know, so is anything if you really think about it.